Here we go. I located the 3Q5. The first thing, I'm going to do a couple of things to start off with. I'm going to spray the volume control with this. I'm going to test the speaker with an audio signal or some 60 Hertz just to see if the transformer and the speaker are good. And then I'm going to unplug this antenna. And I'm just going to ohm it out and make sure that it's not broken in the wire here. Okay, I have continuity on. Continuity on the antenna, so that looks good. Okay, I'm just feeding the function generator into the speaker, and I'm just feeding it into the audio output transformer, so it's not going to be real loud, and this speaker is done anyway, so kind of drops off at 13 kilohertz. Either that, my hearing drops off at 13 kilohertz, so that's working. I'm going to run this off of batteries. Well, the 90 volt I'm going to run off of batteries. The filament, I'm not quite sure what the voltage is. I have a feeling it's 9 volts like the transoceanics. So what I've done is I've put the plug in there. There's a switch in there to go from AC line to batteries. And I'm measuring 55 ohms tube filaments, and what I did is I pulled the 3Q5 out, and this went to about infinite, and then I pulled one of these because these are all kind of in series with each other through a bunch of resistors. So I verified that the filament string is connected, and I checked the 90 volt supply, and I was getting about 250K or something like that. It was really high. Okay, I do not have a filament hooked up. All I have is the 90 volts, and I'm going to watch this 0 to 100 milliamp meter, and I turned it on quickly, and it looks like we have a capacitor that's trying to reform. This is what happens as the electrolytic reforms. The current draw will drop down to nothing. This is why they tend to get hot initially. So you just want to kind of take it slow here. And that might be okay, about 2 milliamps with no filaments, and it's dropping still. So now I got to figure out the I guess the A battery. Here's a variable output 0 to 36 volts at 1.2 amps. And I can go from volts to amps here, so I'm going to start out on volts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the radio on right here. And this is our high voltage, plate voltage. That meter got stuck, come on. Doesn't like sitting on its back like this. Oh, cooperate. Okay, here we go. All I'm going to do is I'm going to start to slowly bring the filament voltage up. We'll get up, turn the volume on the radio all the way up. That's 9 volts. Ah, look at, we have some We have some plate current now. I'll turn the filament voltage down, and the plate current goes away. Let's see, let's come back up here to 20 milliamps. $20 milliamps seems kind of excessive. I have a feeling that's a leaky capacitor biasing this thing on real hard. Nada. Totally dead. I'm just pounding it with 455 kilohertz with a 1000 hertz tone behind it, and I'm driving about, well, that's about a watt, and it's totally quiet. So there's nothing even getting through the IF. So good question. Audio detector. I hate these Lochtel tubes. They're really poor at making contact. Okay, I'm feeding the function generator 1.7 kilohertz into the grid of the audio output tube. Really good sensitivity here. Because a lot of the lack of volume is just that crappy frozen speaker. So I'm going to work my way back. Now I'm feeding the function generator into the center of the volume control, and there's absolutely nothing. It's totally quiet. Let me see if I can do this. Light's burning my fingers. Okay. So all 3 pins on the volume controller are totally dead. This here, it's a grid of the audio output tube. So I fed in here and it was wide awake. Then I fed in on the 3 of these and it was totally quiet. I wonder if this capacitor's open. That would get turkey doodles all hot and bothered about a total recap on something that's never going to be used. So here's on the other side of that capacitor and it's wide awake. So it's good and hot right here. Kind of suck. These schematics really suck when they don't have values on them. I guess the next thing we could check is this. We could check over here. But you would think enough would leak back around all of this. Maybe this tube is shorted or bad. So let me try feeding in here. Okay, well it's not that because I'm feeding in here's that capacitor off the center tap of the volume control. It's not that. It's almost, I wonder if that tube is not getting any plate voltage. There is 65 volts on the plate of this one LH4 detector audio amp tube, and I ran the function generator, it's just a sine wave, audio sine wave, all the way around, and the only hot tab is the plate. So this tube is not doing anything at all. Guess it's time to try and find a 1LH4. Okay, I'm feeding into the volume control, and I've changed the 1LH4. What a difference. Let's disconnect this thing and see if we get any response from the radio.
Hotshot crew killed in Arizona were from Hemet, Riverside County. Chris McKenzie graduated from Hemet High School in 2001. He was a member of the Granite Mountain Hotshots.
Kind of works.
Para que alguien me ayude porque no quiero vender.
Let's tweakificate the alignment. It appears to be out of whack because it peaks down around 452. So we'll put it up at 455. And I'm driving a lot of power into it there. I mean, you know, not like wattage or anything, but usually it should be sensitivity, it should be down around there, which is about let's see, that's negative 90, and so that's 70 dB. It's down. Where it starts producing a harmonic there. I don't know what that's about. Not real good. I think this thing's got bad IF tubes, or because the sensitivity seems to be there, it's just the IF doesn't seem to be there.
Marriages and first and most enduring. Just visit eharmony.com. Stop waiting. I'm not secured first, that we have no real mechanism to deal with the people who are here illegally, who overstay their visa.
It's getting plenty of stations. A lot of it could be the speaker being frozen too. But the sensitivity is definitely there. It's getting a bunch of stations. It's just real quiet. Like it's maybe another one of these 1LH4s. Maybe I should test them just for the annoyance value. Time waster. If you sign up for a reverse mortgage today, we'll give you this made in China magnifying glass with LED light absolutely free. I think I found the problem kind of accidentally. It has the wrong vacuum bulbs in it. This is supposed to be a 1LH4 and this is supposed to be a 1LN5. This is a triode diode, and let me see what that one's supposed to be. So this is the 1LH4 with the detector amp, the diode triode deal. And this is the 1LN5. So someone put one of these in here. Nice. Okay, even better. The two bulbs were just reversed. You can't read the number on this one. And that one was over here, so here we go. And I paralleled another speaker here. So here we go.
On the easiest job in sports. 877-830 is your telephone number. Speak for themselves. But most of them are happy. EEG's going to argue that they don't owe nearly as much money because of Michael Jackson's spending habits, and I'm sure they'll make an argument that Michael Jackson's been paying a lot of money for his inappropriate behavior.
He that shall come will come and will not tarry. If we keep that in front of us.
He was an aggressive fighter, but a technical aggressive fighter. He looked to counter at times. Abel Sanchez, who trained Terry Norris, and when Gennady Golovkin walked into his gym for the first time, he saw him hit the bag, hit the pad. He said, okay, this is what I want to do with this guy. Well,
because they eat people.
but that's...
There'll also be Quentin Richardson in the signing trade. A 2016... That's 88, the number 9, N-A-T-R-E-N.